In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a one-arm multi-punch combination to help you get that liver shot landed. Now, this is orthodox that I'm going to be basing this out of, but the whole point of what I'm trying to explain, it's a step-by-step process to set this punch up so that you'll hit that person and make them feel it. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like this. Comment below if you got any input. Let's go. In order to pull this off, you're going to have to work on your balance and also your ability to throw multiple punches with the same arm. In this case, we're going to be in orthodox stance, so we're going to be talking about your lead hand. For me, that's my left. Okay, I'm going to be throwing this off of a 1, 3, 3. Okay, that last 3, that's a bit of a variable 3. It's really more of like a shovel hook kind of. I'm kind of just changing the angle of that body punch down below because I'm trying to get in behind this bicep and I'm really trying to get to that body, right? But in order for me to set this up, I really need my opponent to be in the high guard, okay? Why is that I need them to be in the high guard? Well, for a few reasons. The first thing is I need them to bring their elbows forward. I need them to get them off of their liver. Liver's right here, right? I need them to get it up a little bit right here, right? That first jab is really more of a speed punch, if anything, more of a touch jab. And I'll show you how to set this whole thing up, but speaking this particular 1, 3, 3, that first jab is just to quickly blind. It's to quickly distract, okay? While I'm trying to set my 3 to hook around their high guard, okay? That's why I say a high guard is important. So the assumption here, your opponent's in high guard, they're here, that first jab, boom, okay. They see that jab coming, they catch it in their high guard. That's what they're expecting it for. High guard is to protect you from straight punches, right? Now, what you want to do after you throw that jab is you want to get across, get around that high guard, and you want to hit that head, right? You want to give them a good pop on the side of that high guard. Even if it hits the thumb, it's okay. The whole point is you just want to kind of get them to rock a little bit. Just get them like this, right? Why is that? It's opening up that liver again, right? If I can get you to rock a little bit, because now you see that I'm stepped over. For example, I'm rocking, you stepped over here, you're on this side of me now. Now, I have one decision. I either got to move or I got to try to crouch down even more. Most people aren't going to really move. This is going to be really quick. Like I said, this is the beauty of the one arm combination, right? When you throw multiple punches with one arm, not the same punch, but different types of punches. This is 3 different punches with one arm. Most people don't practice this. Therefore, most people don't actually see this unless you're at a really high level in boxing. To that point, when you come around, after your opponent's leaning a little bit, right? And you come around and you're trying to land this liver shot, right? You don't have to hit directly on the liver. You just need to get in that general vicinity where you can cause that body, reverberation to where it hurts, okay? So if you can get behind this bicep here, that's really where you're aiming at. Aim for that bicep. Aim for right behind that bicep. Try to get right in there. And that's why I say it's kind of like a shovel hook in a way, because you're not necessarily punching flat like this, and you're definitely not going to punch like this, because this will if you punch like this low, it's going to break your thumb. So what you're trying to do is it's not almost like a hook uppercut sort of, right? Because you're using it to dig in and really just you're turning with it. You're turning with it, okay? You should be able to generate power just off of turning. You hear that? That's just me turning, right? And you know how we talk about different rules about balance, and we say, okay, well, don't put your weight forward, don't lean forward. If you're setting up a combination, it's okay, because you're gonna have to shift your weight in order to generate power quickly. You're just not gonna sit there. But if you're doing it for intention, then it's okay. Now, let me kind of help you guys break this down on the setup part, okay? Remember, I got to get my opponent into a high guard, right? I need their hands here, all right? I need their hands up, okay? It doesn't matter if they're here. It doesn't matter if they're in this stance or whatever. I just need this hands up, right? In order for me to get them like this, I got to do what? I got to throw straight punches, right? Specifically, I need to have a really good jab in the beginning of the round to where they're respecting it enough to where it may be a little overwhelming and they may want to walk in on this, right? Oh, I love it if somebody's walking in with the high guard with this, right? Because we already should be working on the check hook off of that anyway, right? We talked about that before. So now somebody's coming in like this, or let's just say they got more of a southern style and they're coming in more like this, right? Even better, man. All right. You jab work, get them to get that guard up, okay? Because I'm hitting them with the jab. I'm actually hitting them with the jab. I'm actually trying to punch and hurt them with this jab. So stiff jab. And you want to probably mix your jab up in the beginning of the round where it's a stiff jab, some quick double jabs. You want to really throw a lot of jabs, right? The jab is the foundation for all of this. Not only does it get you acclimated to the distance as to where they are after you punch them on the first jab, it helps you set up this behavior of they've got to defend from the jab. So it's a psychological game. Remember, boxing is a science. And the science of how am I getting you to do what I want you to do so that I can actually put the pressure on you where I want to put it at and take you out of what you want to do to me, right? And that's where the jab game works so perfectly. So we'll set this jab up. Move them around. Keep them confused. Throw some twos in there. Make sure they know, they respect it. Right? Okay. Right? Just like that. Now, we've done jab work for about 20, 30 seconds in a round, right? Okay. They respect the jab. Then I got popped a few times. Maybe they mouth a little bit bloody, nose a little bit bloody. Okay. They're starting to say, forget this. I'm gonna just shell up and I'm gonna just get in this high guard. Perfect. Now what we want to start doing, second phase, we want to start throwing the feints. Yeah, it's the feints. The feints, they're like the salt on the steak, right? I may cook the steak perfectly, but if I don't put the seasoning on the steak, I'm not going to get the results I want. You got to have that feint game. I know a lot of people don't practice feints. They don't tend to think about it at all when they're sparring. Listen, man, feints will take your ability to be effective to an extremely high level, just straight up off of feints. Obviously, there's two types of feints. You've got your feint where you don't actually move. It's just a shoulder feint, right? And then you got your feint where you actually pretend to throw a punch, but you really don't really throw it. It's more like this, right? Right? If somebody is already in high guard and you throwing that feint, and then all of a sudden you touch them with the real jab, but then you feint, you touch them with the real jab, they don't know what's coming, all right? They do know, or they do expect, it's going to be a straight punch, okay? Now, you've been working your jab, you started working your feints, right? You're moving around them, okay? You got a good balance of movement and punch effectiveness. Okay, now this is where we're going to start setting up this liver shot, okay? Because I'm gonna need them to get in this high guard. All right. Jab, jab, feint, jab. Now let's try to get this 1-3 in there real quick, all right? I'm gonna just try one time. Try one time, don't overdo it, okay? Because like I said, if they catch on, they're gonna figure out how to defend it. But you want to just try to throw it one time. Just see if you can throw it one time. Now, see what they do. Oh, he didn't move? Okay, got it. Cool, got it. That's when you download that information, right? If they don't move, if they essentially just kind of try to eat the punches, now you know where you gotta be to land that liver shot, okay? And there you go. You got your setup complete, right? It is jab work, straight punch work in the beginning. Add the feints, that's the phase 2 for the jab. Keep moving around, don't stay stationary, right? And once they're in the high guard, try one time to throw the lead, the jab, and the lead hook, okay? And just see what they do. If they don't react, that's absolutely perfect, okay? Now, if they do react, let's just say they're sharp, right? They react. Go back and keep working that jab work. Keep working that straight punch work. It's going to show up. Eventually, they're not going to react. And that's where the feints really help you, because sometimes feints will just keep you stuck, right? I mean, the other person, the opponent stuck, right? Now, if you try this combination, and let's just say you miss, you hit their arm, okay? Don't worry about that. It's okay. You can try this again. I mean, you really ain't got to try too much more effort, right? If you say, for example, you come in, boom, lead hook, right? And then when you try to hit that liver shot, you hit that elbow, right? Meaning that they haven't actually. It's two things there. You haven't gotten into the best position, or they're not getting their arm extended, right? Okay. So what we got to do is we got to get them to extend that arm. If you can get around there, if you can get around them on that lead hook, the first lead hook, you might need to double that up. You might need to double that up a couple of times. Wear it out. Wear it out. Reason for that, if they're not moving that elbow out the way, if they just got good discipline and keeping everything here, you got to wear them out where it's available. And then once they start to shift, once they start to try to counter some of the things you're doing, that's when that body's going to open up. Okay, one other thing to keep yourself disciplined about real quick too is whenever you're setting up a one arm multi-punch combination, you want to make sure the other side of your body is protected. Okay, you got to make sure the other side of your body is absolutely protected. And so how are we going to do that in this particular case, right? When we jab, right, this right arm, this rear hand is essentially going to be here to make sure that we keep our chin from getting knocked and rocked out, right? We also got to be sure just to be able to catch anything that may come on a crazy check hook. I mean, they may have just crazy check hook game, right? And that's okay if they check hook you, as long as you got something here to catch it, okay? But you also want to protect your liver. You don't want your liver to get exposed either. So you need to make sure you're turned a little bit using your body to block some of this, okay? Don't give them the backside. This is still available for you to get hit. You want to kind of keep that arm there as a discipline, okay? All right, so let's just kind of rewind everything, make sure we got everything straight. Set it up with the jabs and some crosses in the beginning. Make sure you rock them a couple of times with some of them straights and jabs. That means speed. That means stiffness. Get them to respect it, okay? Get them to respect that jab. Jab is a hard thing. Remember, quick jab, you want to just extend that sucker. You don't want to flare the arms out like that. Pow, pow, pow. You know what I'm saying? Now, add the feints in there. Your feint should look just like your normal jab, okay? Once they get in that high guard and they set in that, test them. Download the data. Did they move? They didn't move? Okay. Next time, I know exactly where to throw that punch. Oh, I threw the punch. It missed or it hit. What did it hit? Did it hit the elbow? Okay, maybe I didn't get deep enough into my step. I might need to step a little bit harder in order for me to get behind that arm and really get to that backside of their body right here, right? That's what you want, okay? I hope this helps you guys. And again, this is one of my favorite combinations. I work a lot on one arm multi-punch combinations. I would say like that to me, that's the hardest to defend, is somebody who is quick with like multiple hooks or something like that, or hooking into uppercut hook with one arm. It's tough, man. It's tough just because you're always expecting a typical person to throw a 1-2 if they're going to throw anything, or make a 1-2-3, coming from both sides. But man, I'm telling you, 3 punches with one arm back to back like that, like this. Whew. I'm telling you, man. Also, too, rotation wise. So I did make a video about throwing the left hook. If you haven't seen it, here's just a quick little overview about it, right? And this is the practice to help you get a pop on your left hook if you're having any problem getting some pop on your left hook, right? So what I like to do when I'm training, practicing, is to keep my right arm extended as if I just threw a cross, right? Okay, so I just threw a cross, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my right arm to give me power on my left arm, but I'm also going to use my right arm location to put this next punch exactly where that arm is at, right? So I'm here, I'm sitting down just a little bit so I can get that hip rotation power, and all I'm going to do is pull back, bam. At the same time, I'm going to shift my weight to my back, and I'm going to make a bend in my arm. You see the arm bend? Making a bend in my arm. I'm not bringing this thing out like this. That's way too much, okay? Way too much. All of this, wasted energy. Good analogy. If you ever watch a figure skater spin, they spin faster when they pull their arms in versus when they pull their arms out. That's when they slow down. Same thing with boxing. It's the same type of kinetics. This is why they say it's a sweet science. Okay? If I need to rotate quickly, I need to pull in, right? And as I'm pulling in, I can whip out. So here we go again. Get in this stance. You got to work on that rebound, baby. All right. I think that's pretty good. Like and subscribe. Let's start the conversation. Peace.